Hey guys, welcome back to the High Tech Software Solutions channel. And as you guys know, this is a tutorial about how to create a photo gallery in Laravel. And in the last video, we installed our Laravel project and our dependencies, and we set up our user interface. And today we're going to work on how to create galleries. So before we start, I will say if you guys didn't have subscribed to my channel, please subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon to be the first person to see my videos. So let's start. Let's open our project first in the browser. And for that we have to start our server. And now let's go to localhost gallery. Okay, now if we go to our login page, as you can see we have this navbar. We also want this navbar in this page, and we want to remove this Laravel logo and other things, and we want a welcome message in here. And for that we can go to our text editor. I have already opened the project in our text editor. Let's go to resources, views, layouts, or not layouts, our welcome plate. And in here I want to select all and remove it. And we have to say extend our layouts folder and our app file. And after that we want our section. It should be content, and we have to end our section. Save it. Now let's see how it looks. As you can see, we have included our navbar. Now we want a welcome message in here, so let's create that. We should create a class, and we should create a div and give it a class of Jumbotron. And inside our div we want an h1 which says welcome to the Laravel photo gallery. And after that we want a paragraph which says for using this photo gallery you have to register yourself. After that, login to be able to create galleries and upload photos. This is a welcome text. You can put anything you want in here. So let's see how it looks. Okay, this is how it looks like. But we need to give it a container, and we can give it in our applet because we want to be our container global. So for that we can say div class container. Let's cut this and put this here. Save it. Okay, that's good. Now let's log in. We have created a user in our last video. I will log in with that user, which is masud@gmail.com, and our password was password. Did I miss something? Okay. Now we have been logged in successfully. Now I want another card here with a button which says to create a gallery. For that we have to go to our home blade, and let's remove this login. And also in here we have to say galleries. And in here I want another card outside this card, and we want a card. Our card should have a header and we have to say create new gallery, and our card body, and we want a button. Our button should have, or not button, a link. Should have a class of btn success btn block. Let's cut this card from here. First of all, we need a call. For that we can say call ed3 and paste our card here. Now let's see how it looks. Okay, this is cool. Now we want to give it a value also, and we can say create new gallery, and we want our route also. For creating gallery we can say route gallery create. Let's go to our routes and our web file. Okay, now in here we want first of all our route, we want our group first, and we can say our group should be first we want to declare our middleware it should be auth, because we want the users to be logged in when they want to create galleries. It should be a function, and our brackets, let's terminate it also. Okay, now we want our prefix first, because we don't want to write a user always in the URL, and we can do that by saying prefix route prefix slash user slash, and we also want to group these routes by saying group function, our brackets terminated. Now we want our first route, which is for creating galleries, and for that we can say route get gallery slash or galleries slash create, comma, and we want it to go to gallery controller, which we haven't created yet. We will create it in a second. And we want our method, which should be gallery create, and we also want to give our route name, and the name should be gallery create. Okay, now let's create our controller, and for that we should go to our command prompt, and in here first we want to go to our project, which is located in wamp folder www and our gallery project. Now we want to create our controller. For that we can say php artisan make controller, and after that we want to give it the name of gallery controller. Press enter. Okay, our controller has been created successfully. Now let's open our controller. So located in app under http under controllers and our gallery controller. Now let's create our method. For that we can say public function gallery create. Save it. Now we want to load our view, our gallery create view, return view, and we should create it should be in a folder called galleries slash or dot create gallery. Terminated. Now let's create our view. We need a folder in our views folder, which should be galleries, and we want our gallery create file inside our galleries folder, which should be create gallery. Did we name it create gallery or gallery create? Let's see. Oh, it's gallery create. Let's rename it. Let's rename our file. It should be gallery create.blade.php. Okay, now we want to extend our main layout. We can say extends layouts.app. And the other thing, we want our section, which should be content. Okay. Let's refresh it. Let's go to our create gallery page. Create gallery not found. Oh, it's because we didn't rename our view in our method. Gallery create. Now let's see. Okay, that's good. Now let's work on our gallery create blade. First we want a row. We also want to give it a class of justify content center. After our row, we want our goal MD8. Now we want our form. Or before form, we can give it a class of card, and our card should have an card header. It should say create new gallery. After that, our card body, and here we can declare our form. So before we proceed, I want to say, guys, that we also have to create our migrations, or let's do this first, then we can create our migrations for our galleries table. We want, first of all, an input for our title, which should be text, and the name should be title. And we also want a value, or not, we want a class. Class should be form control. Let's also declare our label first. It should be title, and it should say title gallery title. Okay, let's also put this in a row. Go MD12, or we want 12.6. Okay, now we want another call MD. It should also be 6, and we want our label, and it should be for the gallery cover, because we want to also save our galleries cover. And it should say gallery cover, and its input field should be, type should be file, name should be cover, and class should be form control. Okay, now after our row, we want this div to be inside our row in here. After our row, we want another row, and in here we want our label, which should be for description gallery description, and we want our text area. its name should be description. We don't need IDs, we also don't need columns, but we need rows, and it should be 3 rows. Save it. Now finally we need our button. We should give it a class of btn primary, and we should give it a type also, which should be submit, and the value should be create gallery. Save it. Now let's look how it looks. So yeah, we also need to give our text area class of form control. That we can see class form control. Refresh. Okay. We didn't declare our call MD also. For that we can see call MD 12. Okay, now it looks good, but we also need some space in here. We can give it a break. Okay, that looks fine. So let's create our table, and for that we can go to our terminal and we can say php artisan make migration, and we should name it create galleries table. Create galleries table. Press enter. So after creating our migration, let's open our migration, which is in database migrations and our create gallery migration. So we need a field first for our title, which should be string, and its name should be title. And the other thing we need is our field for the cover, which should be also string, and its name should be cover. And we need another field also, which should be text, and the name should be description. And we also want to store our user ID within the gallery. For that we can say table arrow string user underscore ID. Save it. And now let's go to our terminal and say php artisan migrate. As you can see, a table has been created. Now let's go and check it. You can go to localhost phpMyAdmin. It's in our gallery. Table, gallery database, and our galleries table. So this is what we wanted. That's fine. Now let's go to our view, gallery create. Now we want to declare the form action, which should be route, and we want to give it a name of gallery store, and we also want a method. It should be post as always, and our int type also, which should be multipart form data, and we also want our CSRF field. Now let's create our route. We can create our route by saying route, this time post. We want to go to galleries, URL and store, comma, our gallery controller, but this time our gallery store method, and we want to give it a name of gallery store, semicolon. Now let's create our method. Let me close this migration. Let's go to our gallery controller, and we can say here public function gallery store. Now first of all, we want to validate our data, and for that we can say this arrow validate our request. We should also declare our request in our method, comma our array, and terminate it. Now we want to require our title, arrow double arrow required. After our title, we want to require our cover also required. And after our cover, we want our description to be also required. Okay. Now after validation, let's also create our model to communicate with the database. And for that, we can say PHP artisan make model, and the model should be gallery. Okay, now let's import our model in here by saying use app \gallery semicolon. Now let's create an instance from that model, and for that we can say gallery new gallery. We need it. Now let's put our title field and description field first in the database, and for that we can say gallery arrow title should be equal to request that is coming from the form and our title. And after that we can say gallery arrow description and our request description. Okay, and we also want to put our user ID in database, and for that we can say gallery arrow user ID equals to auth, because the user who is logged in and wants to create a gallery, so the ID should be from that user. And for that we can say auth user arrow ID semicolon, and don't forget to use auth also at the top. So after putting our ID into the database, now we want to work on our cover. And first we want to get our cover from the request, and we want to store it in cover variable, and we can get that by saying cover equals to request arrow file, and the field name is cover. Now we want to get our covers extension for that, and we want to store it in cover ext equals to cover get client original extension. Okay, now we want to rename our cover, and we want to store it in cover underscore name, and we want it to be random from 1 2 3 4 5 6 to 1 2 3 4 5 6, and we want to concatenate it with our cover extension. After that we want to declare our cover path. For that we can say cover path equals to public underscore path, and we want to create a folder called galleries in our public folder. Okay, now after this we want to move our file into the galleries folder, which is located in publics folder, and for that we can say cover arrow move, and first we want to declare our path, which is cover path, and after that the file name, which is cover name semicolon. Okay, after moving our file to the galleries folder, now we want to save it in the database, and for that we can say gallery arrow cover field equals to our new file name, which is cover name. Terminated. Now we want to save all the data into the database, and for that we can say gallery arrow save semicolon. And after saving our data into the database, we want to return redirect route, and our route should be home, because if you see, let me go back, this is our home page, and if we go to our routes, this route is named home, so we want to go to this route. So I think this is all the code that we need for our gallery creation. Now let's go and create a gallery. We want it my gallery, and we want a gallery cover. We want this photo for our gallery, and we can say this gallery is for my personal photos. Let's create. As you can see, we have been redirected to our home page. Now let's check our database. Yeah, this is our gallery ID. As you can see, our user ID is 1. This is our gallery's title. This is our cover, and all the data has been saved successfully. And if we check our publics folder, as you can see, this is the galleries folder has been created, and this is our galleries cover. I hope you guys enjoyed watching this video. This was all for this video, and in the next video we will work on how to get and show our galleries in our home page, and after that we will work on how to update them and delete them. So bye for now. See you in the next video.